Hello, everyone, and hello, and mostly welcome to the Impact Accelerator, a sunny day in Germany, 4th of September, and we start with such an exciting program. And we have more exciting guests with us, and we're looking forward to have Professor Faltin from the Freie University of Berlin and Professor Yunus from Bangladesh with us today and with you to see how we can accelerate your performance, our performance for a better movement on social business or social conscience-driven business in Germany and above. As well, mostly welcome, I have two great guests. One side is Maria Palmieri, the managing partner of the Grameen Creative Lab. And Nafisa, she is the program lead, and she works so hard with the whole team and to see what we can do. And that would be my first question to Maria. Maria, thanks a lot. You take your time. Thanks a lot. You take your effort over nearly 3 years now, or 2.5 years. You are now leading the Grameen Creative Lab team in Berlin. You created a great team there with an enormous impact, but now this ImpactXcelerate that looks like it's a top of achievement in Germany, so becoming a local hero in Germany. So who is our partners, what we expect, and what's the journey we start today?
Thank you, Hans. Thank you, and welcome everyone. Welcome, Professor Faltin. Welcome to all of you who are listening to this live, or you're going to listen to us later today. Welcome to the ImpactXcelerate program. The program is supported by the Bundesministerium for Wirtschafts- and Klimaschutz and from the European funds, with the objective of accelerating the impact and the performance and the ecosystem of social enterprises in Germany, creating new job opportunities. And this is really what the program is about. As a Grameen Creative Lab, we have been a player for a long time in Germany. We're based in Germany, but we've always been working a lot with social business around the world, especially in the Global South, carrying out programs from Colombia to Africa to Asia. In the Global North, we always have this global program. So this is the first really German program. We're speaking in English today because Professor Yunus is going to arrive as well, but we're working all our program is going to be in German. But basically, what is this about? We thought, what can we bring? How can we bring our Grameen expertise really into the game? And that's why we designed this program, really to connect our international ecosystem with the local ecosystem to exchange and accelerate ideas. At the same time, we have our special workshops that we will offer with the team later in October for the all community. And then we launched application for our accelerator, so to support 10 social businesses by consulting them in accelerating their impact, making their social business sustainable. We just selected the cohort, so we're going to announce it after the launch today. We're very excited about it. So this is a bit like the overview of the program.
Wow, Maria, since how long you are working now for the program already, how you prepare it, what was the pre-selection and stuff like this. So give us some insights to see who is working behind all the scenes at the moment.
So it was very quick, actually. We just prepared it in 1 month because that was the application. And then it was pretty challenging. We were working in August, so it was good that all of us, the full team, we are 7 people. So I'm a bit more the project manager of the program. Then Nafisa has been leading all the educational content with Sharon from our team. Then I'm working on the program with Sabir as well, Jim and Jan. They have been managing all the community aspect. And of course, I forgot to mention that we wait everybody then in November at our summit, where everybody's then meeting. And that's also what we've been working on in this month.
Yeah. So you and we representing the Grameen Creative Lab. So we represent the whole family, a whole movement. So maybe explain a little bit, or you explain about what's the Yunus WhatsApp all about, the Yunus Environment Hub, the Yunus Social Business International Project, the Yunus aspects, because we do here a single touch point with the Grameen Creative Lab, but the social lab, the Grameen Creative Lab, or GCL as we call it, is now 16 years active in Germany, very always what's about next, what's on the next experimental, but we review and we represent a whole bunch of companies. May you explain it a little bit who's behind us?
Indeed. So we are a conglomerate of a lot of organizations. So everywhere in the world, probably if we count all the Grameen and Yunus organizations, we are really like, Hans, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we reached the hundreds, if not like more. But at the international level, if we want, there's 5 main organizations. So of course, the Yunus Center, who is like in Bangladesh, and they are really the center coordinating all kind of activities around Professor Yunus. The Grameen Creative Lab was the first international really organization that was funded by you, Hans, and Professor Yunus here in Germany, based in Wiesbaden, to really bring this social business movement, the social business consciousness around the world, creating a movement, being the pioneer of social business. So a lot of companies reached out to us, how can we integrate social businesses in our processes, in our work as well. And that's where we as a lab are more these pioneers. And then just like as a flower, as a mushroom ecosystem from the Grameen Creative Lab, different organizations were spinned off. One is the Yunus Social Business. You might have heard about them because they're also based in Germany. And they focus more on creating investment-ready programs and in giving real investments and loans to social businesses which are already like in their growth path. And they also work with companies on the social procurement programs, for example. Then we have always as spin-offs of us, the Yunus Sports Hub. And there we really focus on sport. So we train athletes to become social business entrepreneurs, impacting their communities, both when they're like at the beginning of their career, because we know like the life of athletes is very like, I mean, maybe out of the 100, to become really like successful, etc. But what happens with all the other athletes? So what happens at the end of their career? So that's where we work really on the sport. And then we have the Yunus Environment Hub, which is also like a big spin-off of ours that has been like really like advocating for a zero waste economy and how can social businesses nurture zero waste. They have been working on various sustainability projects around the world. So these are the main international, but then as I said, we are many organizations. At the Grameen Creative Lab, we are a bit at the center of this ecosystem, always like trying to wave it in together for the best impact.
Yeah, especially thanks to our responsibility to organize the Global Social Business Summit.
Exactly.
The last 15 years, that makes us to an host for all these great spirits, what's around all these beautiful people who goes into the social business movement. In Germany, we have, of course, much more than only the Grameen family. We have now the Impact Hub. We have now Sen to do the great job. We have Antropia. Now soon they will open the Enkelfähigkeit in Germany. We have the Genossenschaftsverband. We have the Sparkassen. So we have quite a high Gemeinwohl economic system, very much existing. And I also believe fully many of our family-driven business just behave like what we call social business. It's a natural, positive impact to the society, what's happened on a natural way. We didn't oversize it. But God thanks, and in a very good way, we got the clear inspiration out of Bangladesh, very pragmatic on the way to build a system behind 7 principles, call it social business, and be a practitioner since over 40 years in Bangladesh, and shows it in our time that this mindset about being a social conscience-driven economic system, it's extremely powerful to solve this problem, what we could solve so far. And that's, of course, extreme poverty and at the moment, war and a lot of other things. So we have Nafisa with us. Nafisa, you are our program director for all this stuff, and you're representing this wonderful community of Bangladesh and Bangla people. But you decide to come to Germany. You live in Germany, you do this program. So maybe start a little bit with you, why you chose the Grameen Creative Lab and come over from Bangladesh to Germany. You know, we all would love to have more people from Bangladesh, India now coming to us, help us to make our transition happen. Even you expect a baby now. So Germany is your home. Social business is your target. So what makes it so exciting for this program and for you to be with us?
Thank you so much. Yes, I'm also speaking from Germany, which is now my second home, I would say, and very excited to be here. I came to Germany in 2019, right before the pandemic, so to say, as a part of pursuing my master's. And I don't know if I actually said that before. I was really excited in the social entrepreneurship journey. I received an award from my school to sort of start a program which helps educate women in Afghanistan, and then wanted to start my own social business and immersive journey. And that's how I created Grameen Creative Lab as sort of like someone which bridges the gap between Bangladesh and Germany, so to say, and really have a global ecosystem as well. So for this program is not just it's an opportunity for everyone who's residing in Germany and wants to contribute to the German economy. The whole idea behind this program is for helping social entrepreneurs expand and contribute to the German economy, sort of like making sure that it's a dynamic economy and contributing towards that.
Okay. Yeah, I think the program will run now from now to November. And when we saw the applications, we saw people from Syria, we saw people from all over the world, but we saw also regional people from the village side of Bavaria. So it makes a completely mix of people. But we saw the response, if we talk in English and if we talk international, is very high. So it looks like to me, all the people who come from above really want to make a contribution to the society. They have a very high conscience to say, I'm here, I want to be a positive part of this society. That's something what we observe. And do you observe it as well? And who applied now, and who are the 10 chosen social businesses who we will hopefully accelerate their mission and their performance and their joy? That's what we are here for as well, to say we should enjoy our work in the best way.
Absolutely. We have been working with social businesses based in Germany from the past, and what you said, Germany is becoming more and more international thanks to the policies that the government is taking, thanks to the fact that the education is amazing. It's one of the best in the world. So you see a lot of people coming, and then because they see all the advancement that's happening, they do want to also contribute to take their knowledge and contribute to the German economy. And that's a reflection that we also saw with applications, with the community we are building. It's a very diverse community, so to say. The cohort is also very diverse, and they're looking at issues from multiple angles. For example, immigration issues, education, living your life through dance and joy. So that's the cohort also represents our values and the fact that there is an international perspective, but all focused on how do you make Germany more dynamic, more young, and bring that energy in.
Yeah, and repeat it and repeat it. Germany is full of social conscience-driven players, you know. So we are full of like football clubs. So it is a common spirit. What I see is we are working very much in the anonym at the moment. So everybody is surviving in his silo and they're surviving in that silo. But the common spirit, if we count everybody in the social ecosystem, we are probably the strongest part on our society. We don't have the feeling at the moment, but numbers, if we would do a research, we'll see, yes, it's more important than the automotive industry, for example. But we don't want to accept it when we are already there. So we talk better about the golden cult and the next car and the next stuff. But I think the social conscience-driven business, including all the people, caretaking people, the people who do good farming, the people who do great stuff, they are natural positive. We are more than we believe. And one of this aspect is bring us a little bit closer and learn around the globe what we can do. So do we expect Professor Yunus to be here in a minute, or do we have him already? He is here already. That's super cool. Hello, Professor Yunus. So we already did 15 minutes, a great introduction about the social business movement, about what's going on, and we have a lot of different stuff in the anonymity. We are here now on a very official program from the German government, from the European Union. We explained how many official support we get now with the social business model. And we are really happy to have you with us for the next 30 minutes. So, and I would directly start in the way to give you the core questions. What you did, how you, we know about what is maybe social business, but there's a lot of new people in this room, and they're not really exactly know what you did. It's not only there's a professor who teaches on the university theoretical stuff, but you did it very practical in a lot of fields for the last 40 decades. Hello, and we are very, very happy to listen to you about what's your message about what you did.
I think like there's some technical issues.
Oh, not the problem. Let me see. Yeah. So, yeah, we're exciting to have him with us because the pressure is, of course, high. As long as we have the technical program, let me give you some secret. Professor Yunus is still already on X boards. Every day he makes business decisions from the morning to the evening. Every day he is in different way to make the next big thing happen. Yeah, with 83 years, he is an enormous active business person. So there's not only people who lead countries, there's also people who lead every day their business, and it's an enormous. We can hear now Professor Yunus and see him.
Hello, is this this is Ajit. Are you hearing me perfectly?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we hear you, but we can't see you.
Okay. Hi, Han. You can see me?
No,
Yeah,
not yet.
I do see the video.
Yes.
Me too.
Now I see you. Hello.
Okay. Okay.
So
Hi, Hans.
we have a live rehearsing. Okay. Hello.
Okay. I'm handing over the device to Professor Yunus. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, hello, how are you?
Hello.
Very good, Professor Yunus.
Good to see you.
Again, 2 times in only 3 days, and Professor Faltin is here.
Hi there, hello.
So, Professor Yunus, I just did the introduction, but once to you again. So we are here now to have a very high official program this time with the German government, with the German economic minister, with the European Union. So it's a real serious program from the political side in Germany to be accelerated. And we have 200 people behind us now, and we have 10 really new entrepreneurs. What you say, and I just say, and we have a good old friend of you, Professor Faltin. You both meet each other 20 years ago, and Professor Faltin is the professor of entrepreneurship in Germany. And the first crossing moment was 20 years ago, 23 years ago.
Wow.
And Professor Faltin was always a big supporter from 2008 and 9 and 10 and 11 for the Grameen Creative Lab. So and he's on the Freie University of Berlin. So we mostly welcome you both, and Nafisa and Maria. And we already did a big introduction. They say everybody's keen to listen for you for the next 10-15 minutes, what you did, So less about the professors or more about the entrepreneur. There's a lot of young people who listen the first time. What is the practitioner of Professor Yunus? So how you install the Grameen Bank and how you start and be entrepreneurial. And then, of course, we would love to listen to you. I just explained it, and you're every day still in business. Every day you make decisions for social businesses. You are on many boards. So also to listen to you, what are the next program, the next steps, what you do, and last but not least, to see what we should be really doing, finishing what we start. Maybe what's also important to say. Let's finish this, and that's what I'm doing, and that's what I'm looking forward to make for the next upcoming stuff. That's the next thing, what I want to do. That's the introduction. We're all happy to listen to you, Professor Yunus.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Hans, you look different today.
You told to me I have to present the new Hans. So I'm working
new Hans.
on the 11th of September, when my mother had birthday, I come with a clear plan to you. So I'm working on you. On the birthday of my mother, I explain you what's are the new Hans.
Very good. Good. Congratulations to the new Hans. Yeah.
Thank you.
So this is where the participant in this discussion now.
They're listening to us. It's around 200. So it's like we're like in the TV studio now, and they all listen live to us at the moment.
I see. Okay. All right. So this is not a kind of a discussion or a question answer thing. It's
a kickoff where they're all here with the support of the German government, of the European Union, to accelerate their social businesses. And we have a program. You meet them all on the 9th, 10th, and 11th of November when we have the peace gathering at the GSPS in Berlin. So then they'll be all live there. And now we kick it off for the good learning journey of them. And
okay, good. So I'll speak for 10, 15 minutes. Is that it?
Exactly. 10, 15 minutes, what you did, you know, many people, it's always super nice to listen to what you do on a, you know, it's not a theoretical professor who's talking, it's really
right. Yeah.
And what are maybe the points what we really should finish now? You know, we start so many things. What have to be finished? That's the 2 points.
Right. Thank you, Hans. Well, Hans, you know better than anybody else how the story of how it all began. It was a terrible time in the history of Bangladesh at that time, the early 70s, where extreme poverty and famine, people are dying of hunger. And I'm teaching as a young teacher back in 1971. Just came back from the United States where I was teaching. Came back and became a teacher in one of the universities called Chittagong University. And I see this terrible thing going around all over the country, particularly the place where the university is located. The extreme poverty all around. And at that time, people were dying, literally dying of hunger. Famine is not few people, it's a famine, hundreds and hundreds of people dying. You see dead bodies on the street, people dying of hunger. So that's something unthinkable that at that time and age that people have to die like that. So that kind of shook me up and trying to blame the subject that I learned, economics. I said economics is an empty subject. It doesn't tell me anything how to help the poor people. So I felt very upset that I have spent so much time learning a subject which doesn't help me to be helpful to other people. So while I was fuming within myself for this reason that I wasted my time, one idea came that why don't I just go to the village next to the campus and see if I can be some way useful to the people. It's not about doing some project or something like that. Just, I have no idea how to be useful to other people because economics never taught me that. So I thought I'll just go and see if I can be of some help to somebody, even for a day, because I couldn't believe that I could be useful more than that. So that was the beginning, and I did little things for a while to helping people solve their problem, these little problems. And then over time, after months and about a couple of years later, I became very familiar with the people in the village and they became familiar with me. I saw the problem of loan sharking. People who have some cash, they will lend the money to the poor people and charge exorbitant charges for the loan. And in the process, they take over all the possessions because they took the loan from the loan shark. And they become destitute. And you see them victims of these lending practices everywhere. And very, very sad stories for each one of them. Then I thought, how can I protect some of them before they become victims? So one idea came to my mind. Why don't I start lending money to people? If I lend the money, then they don't have to go to loan shark. And they will be protected from the loan shark. Loan shark cannot take away everything. I thought, let me try. It helps them. So I told people that, look, if next time if you need money, come to me, I'll give you the money. And the money involved was very small money. $2, $10, $5, this kind of thing. So I started it and people liked it. And I enjoyed it because people are happy. I felt happy. As it's going more and more over months and a couple of years, And I thought I should expand it, become to more and more. I went to the bank to see bank will lend the money. Bank said, no, they cannot lend the money because it's not within the practice, the rules of lend money to the poor people. So I got into a big kind of controversy with the bankers. I said, banking system is designed the wrong way because they lend money to the people who have lots of money. And they don't lend money to people who don't have money. I said, they should change themselves, do it the other way. Start lending the money to people who don't have money. Gradually, step by step, they will go up to people who have less money and people have less money and so on, gradually to more money. Everybody laughed. I said, that's not the banking. Banking is not done the way. I said, it's done it the wrong way. While I'm debating with the bank, I wanted to make sure work that I'm doing, it follows the banking practices and so on. And I saw all the things they have done. It was in a wrong way. So created a bank itself, but government permission to create a bank for the village. And I started doing it, and it worked very well. Lending money to the poor people, particularly poor women. And expanded to other villages, and I continue. I felt very happy about it. And people kept asking me, did you design this bank that works for the poor people? And you don't take any collateral and so on. I said, well, it's very simple. I just look at the banks, how they do it. Once I learn how they do their business, I just do the opposite. Because banks go to the rich, I go to the poor. Banks go to the city center, I go to the remote village. Bank wants collateral, I said no collateral. It's based on trust. And there's no collateral, there are papers. Since there are no papers, there's no lawyers. So this is a lawyer-free banking and collateral-free banking. And banks go to men, go to women. See, everything is reversed. All I had to do, learn what they do and do the work, reverse way. They continued and became very successful, and people were paying back, and women were very happy. Then that idea spread all over the country. And gradually we expanded all over the country. So that became known as microcredit and so on. And we keep saying, look, this was such a simple thing. Human beings are filled with entrepreneurial capacity. But somehow our economic thinking made us believe for people to survive, they have to job. So everything economics has done to make everybody seek a job. So we have a job-oriented society. Our schools, our education is a job-oriented education. And when you go to school, when you go to college, you're always getting to the college just to get a job so that you get a certificate, and that certificate can be shown to somebody and then they will give you absolutely wrong. Human beings are born as entrepreneurs. And we have misdirected the people by pushing them to get a job. And I started telling the young people in Bangladesh that you repeat yourself to believe that I'm not a job seeker, I'm a job creator. I'm an entrepreneur. And you start thinking as an entrepreneur. Well, we have never had any idea what is entrepreneur. I said, well, you are born in a family of Grameen Bank, and talking to the children of Grameen families. Your mother never went to school. She's totally literate. And she's the one who decided to take money from Grameen Bank to start a business. And the only thing we did, we explained to her, if she has a business idea, we'll give her the money to start the business. And she dared to start a business. And that's how millions of women in Bangladesh took $50, $100, $200 and become entrepreneurs. And you're born in those families as a child of Grameen families. You went to school because Grameen Bank helped you to go to school, pay for your school. And you went to college, you got a degree now, and you're waiting for the last 3 years looking for a job. Your mother was not sitting around. She just came, what did I want to start a business? So she became an entrepreneur. You are sitting around not doing anything. You know what is the difference between you and your mother? Your mother is a natural human being. She never went to school. Education system could not destroy her mind. She remained as an independent, natural human being. So she thought she has the ability to do things for herself. Once money is available, she took the money and started business. And that's where you're born. And the bank and he helped you to go to school. Now, after the school, you're sitting around, not doing anything. So you become an artificial human being. Your education system made you into an artificial human being. You are looking for a job. Job is a slavery. Human beings are born with an enormous entrepreneurial capacity, creative capacity. The moment you accept a job, you are surrendering your creative capacity. It's sealed away. You don't want to know it anymore, because from now on, you'll be taking instructions from your bosses and follow the rules, follow the instructions. You don't have any independent mind left in you. So that's a part of the slavery. So why don't you now change yourself? Go to your mother, learn from your mother, find out how she did it. And once you find out what you are, you become a natural human being. Once you're a natural human being, will start looking for activities that you can devote yourself to. And if you need money, we'll give you the money so that you become an entrepreneur. So now hundreds and thousands of young people come with a business idea. We invest in them and they start a business and they create that. So they're not waiting for jobs anymore. So I said, this is the wrong thing that we did. We created the wrong education system because of our wrong thinking in economics and so on. So the economic system should help entrepreneurship. In order to do that, we have to change the financial system, because financial system doesn't give any money to somebody who is starting a life after a college. They want to see somebody already have some money already, then they give the money. Otherwise, you have to work for this guy who has the and so on. I said, all done in an upside down way. All young people be in the school system how to become an entrepreneur. They don't do that. I said, our education system should be geared to preparing entrepreneurs, not job seekers. Undo that thing. So that, and also undo the financial system. They'll be waiting with money as you come to the college, as you come to the university. Say, we have the money, you just come out with your business idea, you'll invest in your business. You don't have to finish your school. You don't have to get a degree, a piece of paper, because entrepreneurship, you don't go by the piece of paper, because it's your idea, is your capability which matters. So your bank, your whoever is financing should be looking at your ability, not your paper. In job, you need a piece of paper. So you have to finish your school before you can apply for a job. But during the school years, you can easily start your business if you want to be an entrepreneur. Because you don't have to wait for any degree. I said, that's the way it should be. So we are talking about redesigning of the financial system, also economic system, and so on. So this is the direction that we have been doing. And we created lots of such organizations, enterprises, and encouraging young people to become entrepreneurs and so on. And in the process, we also talked about creating businesses to solve people's problems, not for making money. Today, economics teaches to create business to maximize profit. So we challenged that. We said that's not the only business in the world. There's another kind of business to solve problems without any intention of making personal profit out of it. And we created a lot of those businesses, concentrated on focusing on the problems people face. Black people face problems of poverty, problems of housing, problems of healthcare, problems fossil fuel, renewable energy, problems of housing, and so on. So every time we create a social business, solve the problem. It's a business to solve the problem in an economically sustainable way, but no intention of making personal profit. Profit is plowed back into the business. So we called it social business. Now that idea of social business is expanding. We have lots of joint ventures with social business and so on. We have joint ventures with Danone, French company, to create a special kind of yogurt, help the problem of the children who are suffering from malnutrition because of deficiency in vitamin A. So we create this yogurt, special yogurt in Bangladesh through this joint venture company, and ask the parents to feed the children with this cheap yogurt. And if the child takes this yogurt regularly over 6 to 7 months, the child becomes a healthy child because all the deficiencies are overcome and so on. So we have lots of those things, like we have renewable energy company, solar energy company, and so on, to bring electricity in the villages and so on. So these are the series of things we do to make sure. And we are also addressing the problem of environment. We said we should be creating a world of 3 zeros: 0 net carbon emission, 0 wealth concentration, and 0 unemployment. That's the kind of world we want to build. I said the present economic system has created a wrong system, wrong life for people, and wrong civilization for all of us. We have to create a new civilization to create a new world for us, which will not be destroyed by health concentration, which will not be destroyed by environmental hazards, and which will not be destroyed by artificial intelligence and so on. So we are now aiming at that, in a world of 3 zeros. And that's the direction we want to go, and encouraging young people to create 3 zero clubs. 5 young people get together and create a 3 zero club. The idea is each of the members of the 3 zero club should become a 3 zero person, meaning that each one will not contribute to global warming, will not contribute to wealth concentration, will not contribute to unemployment. So if you become a 3 zero person, if your club becomes a 3 zero club, then they are closer and closer to becoming a 3 zero world. So that's the direction we're going to go. And I'll stop here.
Oh, thank you, Professor Yunus. Yes, you're right. I may know the story, but listen to you again and again is a little bit like if I listen Imagine from John Lennon, then, you know, he sings the song and you tell the story in such an authentic way like nobody else. And it's always inspiring.
Thank you.
And see the empathy, the empathy what we need, and also, you know, the wrong interpretation of humankind. You know, this is what you teach me to say. We have a completely wrong interpretation of humankind. We are much more selfless if we can do. We are much more joyful. We are much more problem solver. We just doesn't address it. We slave ourselves, and that's also what I like a lot to say. With the 3 zero person, this is what we have to finish. If I'm not personally going my way, then it's very difficult and other people follow it. We have Professor Paltin with us, a professor of entrepreneurship in the Freie University of Berlin. Professor Paltin, you listen it now again to Professor Yunus, similar to me. You listened to the story now over 23 years, but what was your reflection on it when you listened it now, and what was your expression about Professor Yunus' work and what could be an accelerator for other social businesses?
What I liked most about your presentation was that you said economics is an empty subject if it's not helping the poor.
Absolutely.
And that is, of course, not something that is mentioned much when you learn economics at university, even now. And the second thing I think is so important, to build an economy on trust and a lawyer-free economy. And that's my own experience, that you can build a company on trust. My own tea campaign, almost 40 years old now, became successful because we were building on trust, not on advertising and on fancy wordings, but on trust. Give a good product, give it a good price, do fair trade, be fair to nature, turn to bio-organic production and so on. So that is the power, that is an extreme powerful medium, trust. And I understand, and this would be my question to you, I understand that you care for the poor, of course. nothing to say to that. But why not go into the center of the economy as well and say we provide something for everybody built on trust? Because it's a pity that it's only in at least in a rich country like Germany, it's only in the fringes of the economy, at the margins of the economy, when you work with the poor or handicapped or whomever. Why not go more into the center, take center stage in the economy? And my little company has become the world market leader in Darjeeling tea, which is our only product, because we built on trust and because we provided a good product and we were fair to everybody. That it's very powerful. It's worth to go into the center of society.
That's good questions. Professor Yunus, what would be your answer about it?
Yeah, I was just telling the historical part of how it grew, how it originated. And we learned step by step how to overcome those issues. Then we came in the fundamentals of the economics. And that's where our challenge is the whole basis of the economics. And as you quoted me saying that if it's not helpful to the poor people, then what is there in economics? So it can be, economics can solve all problems, not just poverty. Poverty is one of the problems. And that's why we talk about the social business. So you identify a problem and create a business, solve the problem. Today's business is about money-making projects, not problem-solving projects. So that's where you depart from the present economic system, which is based on profit maximization. So there you look for opportunities where you make it the best money possible. So in our social business world, we are looking for the problem which needs to be solved now in the best possible way so that you can overcome that problem. It could be, I gave the example of poverty because that's where I'm coming from. Then I talked about the solar energy. Solar energy is not about poverty. It's about a whole land which is missing the electricity. And then if you even have the electricity, full electricity is based on fossil fuel. We said, why don't you have solar energy? And we build the solar energy as a basis of our business to replace solar fossil fuel driven energy production, the solar energy. Or somebody can say, I can do it for the wind energy. Go ahead, wind energy as a social business. So you come to the core of that. It's healthcare. I keep talking about the pandemic, COVID-19. And I was arguing that COVID-19 vaccine, when it comes out, should be patent-free. Because patent restricts the ownership. But people need the vaccine for survival. But those who own the vaccine, they want to maximize profit. They're putting patent right. So we campaigned throughout the world, and we came very close to get this world accept that idea to make the COVID vaccine as patent-free. But some 10 countries in the world opposed it, so we couldn't get it done. So what had happened, the vaccine was produced. Those countries who produced, the 10 countries which produced those vaccines, they made tons and tons of money, billions of dollars of money. But other countries could not get the vaccines because they couldn't reach it, because the rich countries bought off all the vaccines produced at a very high price. So the profit maximizing pharmaceutical companies make billions of dollars in exchange of many people dying around the world. So I said, that is the crisis of the economics that we have created. Economics should be a tool for solving problems, not making money. So that we are bringing an alternative, how to create that. Said, what we want to do after this experience, we said we want to create now social business pharmaceutical company. We'll be producing vaccines, we'll be producing medicines, not to make money for ourselves, but to help people get vaccines and medicines at easy price, near to the cost of production. Today, they give multiple pricing system to get the big profit out of it. Because the economics says your purpose is a profit maximization. So you don't feel guilty because you want to maximize profit. I said, okay, you will continue, but we should allow ourselves to create social business pharmaceutical company. So idea is grown in one part, the poverty related, but you now talking about environment, talking about education, talking about technology, talking about all kinds of things, applying those methods and creating and saying that let's create a new civilization. The present civilization is based on greed, based on profit maximization. And that's why we created the problem of environment, problem of wealth concentration, problem of unemployment because of the artificial intelligence and so on. So we have to create a new civilization using a new framework of economics, which will be based, new civilization is not on greed, but on human values of sharing and caring. We have to rediscover ourselves as human beings. Today, we don't behave like human beings. We behave like money-making robots. We are all robots here to make money. We do not consider anything else. So I said, that's a wrong civilization. Right civilization would be for human being. And human being is defined by their human values of sharing and caring. And it can be done in a very efficient way. All you're doing is replacing one type of business by another type of business. That's about it. So these are the broader picture of the whole thing. Thank you.
Absolutely great, Professor Yunus. But Professor Faltin, maybe to find the bridge on the questions, what you just made, it was a very important question. Professor Yunus also reminded me always never forget the poorest of the poorest, because sometimes it's easy to forget the poorest of the poorest, the people who are in the most social pressing needs. In our case in Germany, maybe that's the people who are completely alone. You know, they maybe have millions on their account, but they have nobody to talk anymore. They are, you know, or all the poorest and the poorest and the poorest in every situation to go. And like Professor Yunus, maybe for Professor Faltin, I know Professor Faltin's work is a little bit like Patagonia, you know, his tea campaign. Professor Faltin used every penny, or most of the money what he made, he used it for the common good of the people, for better teaching, for better value share. So he created, like Patagonia, a super sport brand. He created #1 Darjeeling brand, and he spent it in a way to have the common good. And that's are the examples of entrepreneurship what we need. So people get the wealth for them and get the wealth for everyone, and not super rich. And that's something, Professor Faltin, where I really admire you. We saw the big decision from the owner of Patagonia, but I see you now over 20 years, what you did with your big company. You just share everything in a very natural way, in a very natural, positive way. And that's what you do. You keep being a professor and share your profits wherever you can do it, and never live an enormous upside life. Professor Faltin, we will welcome Professor Yunus on the 9th, 10th, and 11th of November, 3 days in Berlin. We will be on the front of the Brandenburger Tor. We will have discussions. Thanks a lot. You postponed your holiday. So what are your plans for the next year? I know you're always fully active as well. And soon, in the next 25 years, we open the Plus 100 Club, and we will still be entrepreneurs with guys like you, I'm very sure. So what's the plan for next year, Professor Faltin?
I was just reading this book
I see that.
our talk today, and reading it again and again. And what comes to my mind is we have a few examples in history, that your idea works. For example, the best example that I know is Switzerland, and a man called Gottlieb Duttweiler, Migros, you know about that.
Migros, yeah.
So he was a business person who said, I have to make a good product and a very good price. And he conquered the whole retail trade of the country, Switzerland, in a few years. And he was a social entrepreneur. He was not after profit maximization. He finally gave away the company to his customers, as did Patagonia, and we do it ourselves as well. We have given 50% of the shares already to the Entrepreneurship Foundation, and we will give another 50% in the next few years. So we give away the company. It's not about profit maximization or our own wealth, but I have to say, I'm and my partner, I'm an 80% share, he has 20%. We are university professors, well paid. So we can afford to be generous and say, we didn't found this company for profit for ourselves. We founded it to make an example. With a good product, with a good price and fair to everybody, you can be successful and you can be competitive with these guys who are after profit maximization. So it works. So why aren't we capable of presenting it to the public in a way that we say, look, this, what you call the civilization without profit maximization, we can do it. We can do it. It's at our hands. So we have to present these stories. We have to present this Gottlieb Duttweiler story, which for me is the best one.
Right.
And the leftists didn't like him because he said you can do it in capitalism. And the right people, the Unternehmer, the business people didn't like him because he destroyed his profits. He made products very high quality and cheap. So we can do it. What is hindering us? What is the obstacle not to convince the public that we can do this civilization with a sensible, sensitive economy right now?
And I think we can do it together, and together, especially with two joyful leaders like you. You know, what I really like on your both is you do it with a kind of joy, you know, not with the big pressure. You do it, oh yes, there's a problem, let's solve it, there's something new to discover. I know you both, we are over time already for your both time.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Professor Yunus. Thank you so much, Professor Faltin. Both we will rock it, we will go for it, and we will have all inspiration. I always say, let's play it from 7 to +100. We need also people to see who want to shape the future for the next generation. And thanks a lot what you do for the society.
Thank you.
Wonderful people. See you very soon, Professor Faltin.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Professor Faltin. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. So, Maria, what's a good opening? So let's go and a little bit to see what we can do. Professor Faltin, it was really exciting what Professor Yunus just told to us.
Yeah, I think the idea, and I like that Professor Yunus said it's about civilization. We need a civilized planet, and not one that destroys at the cost of others. Yeah. And there are examples that it works.
Because it's
a growing number of examples. So the question is how to present, how to get to the heart of the people, to say, look, it is nothing so extraordinary. It's not idealistic. It's just normal.
It's just
say you're idealistic. I said, no, I'm just normal, and it works. So what?
Yeah, I call it natural positive, you know, to be nature positive and natural positive. You are an example of it. Patagonia is an example. I talked today morning about many families in Germany just do it very natural in the anonymous way. You know, in the anonymity, we have it. We made it probably bolder than the automotive industry, but it doesn't make so much show that it doesn't show up. That's because it's not our nature. Our nature is to do our work, silent, precisely, persistently, bound to be successful, like Migros, like many original Raiffeisen, many cooperatives, but also many family-owned business are going over generation, be a silent server, carer to society. And that's what we need more. Let's make a big noise together in Berlin, and let's see how we can do it. And thanks again, you was with us today, and much more thanks and you postponed your holidays and be with us for the full days in Berlin. Let's use this 9th of November, then there is everything is possible.
Let's do so. I'm fully on your side.
Thank you, Professor Faltin. Thank you. Maria. So
much, Professor Faltin.
Super. So, Maria, we have 5 minutes left or 2 minutes left. So what are the next steps in the Accelerator program?
So the next steps, we saw there were some questions online, so we will answer to them, or anyhow, like we will provide answers to everybody. But the next steps to the program really is we're launching the next week the accelerator cohort. So we're going to announce the final participants in the cohort soon. And then in October, on the 17th and 24th of October, we will have 4 workshops online from us on how to build a sustainable social business model, because a lot of like the aspects that we're going to tackle is really how to grow with the limited resources. So this is really the focus that we're gonna on which we're gonna focus on with our accelerator program as well. How do you align your purpose as well and your mission within your social enterprise? How do you measure your impact? How do you grow with limited resources? How do you develop a system thinking mindset, always thinking about the system and not just about your enterprise as well? So we're going to tackle some of these aspects. We are inviting guests to the workshops, and then of course we will meet in November, right, in Berlin for the summit.
That's very good. So this is where we're looking up for. Let me summarize again that we are very thankful for all the trust what we got at the Grameen Creative Lab, but also recognize all other friends in Germany, what they're doing on the social conscience-driven business. There are so many of us in the way I named it already in the beginning, and have the last words it's always worthwhile to listen at least at the last words to the woman. Nafisa, what was your takeaway from today? What was your inspiring moment? And please close the first session.
Thank you so much, Hans. The biggest takeaway would be Professor Yunus talking about how education always needs to be more focused on solving problems and not just finding a job, for sure. And I love what both Professor Faltin and Professor Yunus, both of them said, that economics is empty if it does not help people. So those would be my biggest takeaways. And with that, I hope to see all of you at our future events. So very much keeping in line with the fact that education needs to be more applied. We do have the workshops on October 17th and October 24th. October 17th is the day of World Poverty Eradication Day. So let's help make put poverty in the museum, like Professor Yunus says. And October 24th is the UN Day. So that helps us bringing the journey to Berlin for a peace gathering. Over to you, Hans. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. See you soon in the program.
See you in Berlin.